We are Black Horse. We are Sports Zone.
It's time for Braves baseball. Yes, it's allergy season, and it's also playoff season for the Atlanta Ball Club as they try to wrap up a three-game sweep over the Miami Marlins tonight. And hi again, friends. Joe and Chip with you. Hope you'll bear with me tonight as the Braves try to wrap up this series sweep with the Miami Marlins. And what a way to end the game last night. An historic performance by Craig Kimbrell, who's having an historic type of season.
And he struck out 4 guys in that 9th inning last night. That was pretty epic in and of itself. First guy to do that since Mark Wohlers way back when. But Craig Kimbrell has been lights out. And I mean, he's been turning the lights out on opponents all year long with his strikeouts. I mean, there's one that was unhittable and uncatchable. That led to a base runner, so he had to strike out a couple more guys. What's the big deal? For Craig Kimbrell, he's now being finally talked about in the circles of a Cy Young candidate. Here are 3 others. And we mentioned we don't have room to put everybody up there, but let's mention Matt Cain and Johnny Cueto as candidates as well. But here are 3 guys with great numbers, all starting pitchers. Craig Kimbrell certainly deserves to be in the conversation when you're talking about Cy Young candidates. 14 walks, 111 strikeouts this year. He has been as good as anybody I've ever seen finishing ball games.
No sophomore slump for Craig Kimbrell. When we come back, Tom Hart will sit down and talk with Chipper Jones. His final homestand off to a great start for Atlanta, and his season got off to a great start. Tom will talk to Chipper about a very memorable moment in this 2012 season when we come back to Turner Field right after this. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Toyota.
And welcome back to Atlanta. Final game of this 3-game series as the Braves look for a sweep of the Miami Marlins. And it's Kick-starting a very special weekend here at Turner Field. Tomorrow on Fox Sports South, we'll bring you live coverage of the Braves tribute to Chipper Jones, coming away at 7 o'clock and presented commercial-free by Georgia Best Chevy Dealers. And before that, an encore presentation of Braves Live, a tribute to Chipper Jones. So an hour and a half full of Chipper Jones. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Tom Hart. To fully appreciate the ending that could be in store for Chipper Jones and his Atlanta Braves this season, you have to remember how it all began. Chipper did not play in the first series of the season in New York, so he took the field in Houston in front of his parents, Larry and Lynn. And after Chipper singled in his first at-bat, his father said, let's see what he can do with a slider. He showed him by putting that slider into the right field bleachers. Earlier this summer, I asked Chipper if that answer and that situation was a direct result of the father's tough love and his support throughout a great Hall of Fame baseball career.
What was bone-chilling for me was his reaction to the home run, because you got to understand my mom and dad. They were kind of the tough love parents, you know. And yes, we said I love you, but it wasn't very often, you know. And getting a pat on the back from one of my parents, that was big news. And to see them come up out of their seats and, you know, clapping and fist pumping and dad yelling like a kid, that was it's a little different for me, because they were the parents who were down the left field line away from everybody else in their lawn chairs when I was growing up. And I'd hit a home run and I'd round second base and they'd be sitting there like this, no reaction. And I can think of maybe a handful of times where I came home after a game, we're on the ride home, my dad turned around and said, hey, nice game. You know, it was always, we could have done this, you know, you could have done this, or what were you thinking in this situation? We were talking the game. It wasn't necessarily criticism, but it was just talking the game. And, you know, I think it was almost, they expected me to play well each and every game, and that was just the way it was in my house.
Could we be in store for another one of those fist bump moments? Larry and Lynn Jones are in the house tonight. I talked to them both earlier today. They said they will be here throughout the duration. As Mrs. Jones said, we're not going to miss his last game, no matter when or where Chipper Jones' final game as an Atlanta Brave will come. And so with father and mother in the stands, son is ready to take the field again before what should be a memorable weekend. But first, perhaps a sweep of the Marlins is on tap. Chip and Joe will have the call right after this.
The Braves take the field for Game 3 of the series. And a nice crowd gathering as Atlanta tries to wrap up the season series with the Marlins in great fashion tonight. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Here's a look at Ozzie Guillen's lineup. The Marlins have lost 6 straight games. Keep an eye on Jose Reyes and Carlos Lee. Those two guys have hit the Braves very well this year. And Rob Brantley, in his first go-round in the National League, is a very impressive young hitting catcher in the National League. He's in the middle of this lineup. Quite a compliment for a young man acquired from the Tigers this year.
Tommy Hanson on the mound, 25 years old, 6'6", 220 out of Redlands, California. It's his 30th start. Good numbers against the Marlins in his career. 11 starts, a 7.2 ERA, and an excellent 7.2 record, an excellent ERA. And this year he's 2-0 against them with a 1.80 ERA, allowing those 2 earned runs in 10 innings pitched. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Ron Gant talked about this a little bit in Braves Live tonight. The fact that Tommy's kind of really been overusing his breaking ball a little bit, at least in my opinion, to the extent that it's costing him a lot of pitches and not being able to pitch deep in the ball game. So lucky 13 tonight. Maybe he gets his 13th win. He's going to need to throw more heaters and be a little more efficient with his fastball tonight to pitch deeper.
Brian Peterson leads off and takes a quick strike. Tommy was very self-critical after his last performance against the Phillies. He gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3 innings that day and was quoted as saying, "I'm not carrying my weight around here," as a starting pitcher. And by that, I'm sure Tommy expressed a lot of frustration. He hasn't won a game since July 30th for the Braves
against these Marlins. Last 7 starts, 0-4 with an ERA over 5.
Old foul by Brian Peterson, who's filling the leadoff spot out of necessity for these depleted Marlins. And Peterson in the midst of an 0-4-17 slide. Last road game of the year for Ozzie Guillen and the Marlins tonight. They face the Phillies at home next. And a breaking ball freezes Peterson. Hanson off to a good start. 1 down.
That breaking ball has been dynamite. He's just had to use it too much, and really more than he wanted to over his last several starts. But lack of command and location on his fastball has forced the issue there.
Gorkis Hernandez 1 for 8 in the series. He picked up an 8th inning hit last night. If you missed it, the Braves shut out the Marlins 3-0. Paul Maholm was terrific. Craig Kimbrell picked up his 40th save of the season. At one point, Maholm set down 13 straight Marlins hitters.
It was the 14th shutout for Atlanta. And the 17th time Miami's been shut out.
Wow.
That's the most.
And that's a surprising stat, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Popped up toward first. Freddie Freeman should have no trouble. He doesn't. 2 outs. And here's a look at the rest of the Braves defensive lineup tonight. Still no Michael Bourne in center. Jose Costanza gets the start. Chipper, Simmons, Ugla, and Freeman around the horn. And as we expected with that awkward swing from Brian McCann last night, David Ross plays for him behind the plate.
Yeah, Brian may sit tomorrow too against Jonathan Neese, who comes in with the Mets, a lefty. A couple of days to rest his knee that's still barking in that shoulder.
A strike to Jose Reyes. 4 hits in the series for the Marlins shortstop.
We were talking about how many times they've been shut out, how surprising it is, Chip, that they're next to last in the league in runs scored, 14th in doubles, 13th in on-base percentage.
Reyes drives one toward Hayward and right. Jason has it on the track. And hey, Tommy Hanson had an uneventful 10-pitch first inning. He's off to a good start. Let's see what the Braves do in the bottom of the scoreless first. Let's see if the Braves can give him an early lead tonight. Here's how Freddie lines up. The Braves, who come into play tonight at 90 and 65 for the year. Costanza, Prado, Hayward. Chipper Jones wants to play every game on the homestand. He's in there for a third consecutive night. Freddie Freeman, Dan Uggla, David Ross, Andrelton Simmons bats 8th, Tommy Hanson 9th, and our first look at one of the prize prospects for the Marlins, young Jacob Turner.
Just 21 years old. He's 6'5", a slender 210 pounds out of St. Charles, Missouri. A #1 pick by Detroit back in 2009 before being traded to Miami this year. 5 starts with the Fish. He's 1-3 with a 4.03 ERA, but an excellent walk to strikeout ratio over his 29 innings. His Ford keys to pitching success tonight: stuff. He's got good stuff. The report's really good for a guy his age. Good fastball, breaking ball, and a cutter. And also fish futures, not gold, corn, or
soybeans.
Soybeans. Fish futures. You can invest in this guy. This guy and Kohler that we saw last night. Those two guys are going to be around a long time in Miami uniforms, one would expect.
So that's a positive sign for Miami, which has had a dreadful season, as we've chronicled. And this kid's got a chance to do some impressive work down the stretch, open some eyes, and get ready for 2013 for the Marlins. He and Rob Brantley came over from the Tigers. And now Costanza has an even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bouncing ball toward Reyes at short. 1 out. Here's the Marlins defensive lineup tonight. Scott Cousins is back in the big leagues playing right field. Gil Velasquez, Jose Reyes on the left side of the diamond, and Rob Brantley and Jacob Turner the battery. Here's Martin, 3 for 8 in the series, a homer, a couple of RBIs. That homer came in the first inning last night against Josh Johnson.
Great story about Scott Cousins out in right field. He only got called back up 5 days ago. He was not among the September call-ups, even though he'd spent a little time at the big league club this year. He had gone home and helping his fiancee plan their wedding, which is in November, and they were actually on their way to a cake testing when he got the call to come back. So he missed out on the cake tasting.
Well, as married men, there's nothing safer than missing out on all the wedding planning possible.
No doubt about that. Jason Hayward just about got a taste of that foul ball off the bat of Prado, too.
And Cousins will settle under this drive into right field, and 2 are out. Here's Jason. Jason joined the 2020 club last night. A first inning stolen base means 20 steals, 27 homers. The first Brave to hit the 2020 plateau since Andrew Jones did it. An awful lot of guys you have to be happy for with the success the Braves have had this year, but I may be happiest about Jason's season this year. Local kid, down year last year because of the injuries you talked about in our opening comments. Worked awfully hard in the offseason, had a great attitude working with Scott Fletcher and Greg Walker, and all that offseason hard work has paid off in a fantastic season for the Braves this year. Ground ball to second, and Solano makes the play to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Jacob Turner. The duel is on. Hanson and Turner, no score here at Turner Field.
It's time to cheer on your Atlanta Braves in October. Braves postseason tickets are now on sale, so get your tickets for any of the playoff games at Turner Field. Could be for the wild card on Friday, October 5th, or who knows, as this final week unfolds, might be for the division series. Visit Braves.com/postseason right now to order your tickets.
And the Braves 4 behind Washington. The Nationals play the Phillies and are leading the Phillies early tonight at Citizens Bank Park. So we'll follow that score as the night progresses, as Tommy Hanson works against Carlos Lee here in the second.
Laser Baker tells me Bryce Harper hit a homer already tonight in the first inning.
Wow. He's having a great year, trying to finish with a flourish.
His 21st.
That's Gio Gonzalez and Tyler Cloyd matching up in Philly tonight. Gonzalez going for his 21st win for the Nationals.
R.A. Dickey won his 20th today.
What a year for him. I believe I read correctly, his career high in wins for a season was 11 before this year. Amazing.
Quite a season.
Just missed to Lee. 3 balls and a strike.
Hanson and Ross barked about the pitch before, and now Carlos Lee complained about that one. Well, you're not making everybody mad on the same pitch anyway, Ted.
Carlos had a good cut. Here's the rest of the umpiring crew. That is Ted Barrett behind the dish, Marvin Hudson, Tim McClellan down at second, and DJ Rayburn at third.
Ted Barrett, one of the bigger umpires in baseball, and if you do get in a little discussion with him or get a little upset, you don't want to go toe to toe with him. He's either a former professional boxer or a Golden Gloves champion. I can't remember which it was.
Lee takes low and is the first Marlins base runner. Hanson walks him to start the second inning. So here's Rob Brantley. A couple of homers, 5 RBIs, and the kid hitting .313 for the year. The situation doesn't apply here, but Tommy Hanson has had trouble holding base runners. You don't expect Lee to be doing much, if any, running in this spot. And a pop-up on the next pitch. Chipper in foul ground. Has plenty of room. Wow.
.28 stolen bases allowed this year, 3rd most in Major League Baseball, and the 2nd most in baseball since 2009.
But he's a ground ball away from escaping the second inning. And Donovan Solano's the hitter. First 2 big league homers came in this ballpark. They came against Chris Medlin. Donovan's brother Jonathan is with the Toronto Blue Jays. And he hit a home run on June 12th this season. And so the Solano brothers, the 223rd set of brothers to hit a home run in the major leagues. But it's only the 5th set to record their first career homers in the same season in big league history. against Chris Medlin, the way he's pitching is
pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Ball really jumped off his bat. Both pitches fastballs. Saw him rake another fastball last night.
Two balls, two strikes.
Tommy obviously trying to change his luck a little bit. Showing a lot of sock tonight. Never seen him do that before.
He gets Solano swinging. 2 outs. And his second strikeout of the game.
That looked like a slider. And was. Threw it at the outer third of the plate. Had it break off the plate. Got him to chase. Good pitch.
So here is Mr. Cousins. Played 61 games at AAA this year for the Marlins in New Orleans. And hit .296 down there.
I just think it'd be fun for him. A real treat that he got called up, of course, for the last week of the season. But just the fact that he realizes standing here in the batter's box, I could be home looking at napkins.
Engraving envelopes.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, the worst part about sending out the wedding invitations, you have to put the stamp on a certain way.
Really?
If it's not totally perfectly square, you get in big trouble.
What's that mean? Is that like some symbol of
I have
bad luck?
I have no idea. So you're right. He's got to be thrilled. Freeman at first, but it's a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Safe. Somehow got back. He was dancing around first, and Tommy almost picked him off.
Looked like he was in midair when he got caught. Leaning. Better angle here. Got him. Got him.
And that's a little low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So now a 3-2 count to Cousins. And good news in Philadelphia. The Phillies have plated 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning.
Babe Ruth did it again.
Did he really?
Yeah, 3-run double.
Go Phillies. Now Lee will be running with 2 outs. And Cousins yanks that one foul and into the seats. Nice catch in the front row. Tommy loses Cousins after getting ahead in the count. Bookend walks in the second, and Gil Velasquez the hitter. Well, the Marlins have had trouble all year scoring runs, especially after they traded away Andy Ramirez, Omar Infante, and it's become exceptionally apparent of late. They do not have a hit in this series with a runner in scoring position. And their last hit with a runner in scoring position, Dave Baker tells us, was the second inning at New York Sunday. That's 26 innings ago.
Again, next to last in runs scored. And a bit surprising, they're 11th in home runs, except that their ballpark's so big.
Now the Marlins have hit 132 homers as a team. Giancarlo Stanton has 34 of them. Didn't get a corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Congratulations to Bo Porter. I read where he was named the new manager of the Houston Astros beginning next season. He's going to finish the year out as the third base coach for the Nationals and enjoy that postseason ride before heading to Houston.
Yeah, there were some who thought that if Ozzie Guillen was in trouble, that the Marlins might have an interest in Bo Porter. So Houston gets their man.
I would say for Bo Porter, he ought to really enjoy this postseason as much as he can.
Yeah, pretty good chance it's going to be a while for the Astros before they get back. Houston's 51 and 105 this year. Yikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But I believe he's a Houston native or lives in Houston, Texas, so he gets to go home and manage there.
I think he was one of the finalists for this job and maybe one other one that escapes me. I can't remember where it was, but he's been on a lot of people's short list of candidates. So good for him that he's going to get his first opportunity. And Manny Acta on the flip side of that, Manny Acta, the manager of the Indians, was fired today.
Again, Hansen ahead 0-2, has an even count. Sandy Alomar Jr. was named the interim manager in Cleveland for the final 6 games. Rough year for Cleveland. They're 65 and 91 this season. Line drive into left field. 1 hop out there to Martin Prado. And Carlos Lee slow of foot, unable to score on the play, and the bases are loaded with the pitcher coming up.
Got a hit with a runner in scoring position, but it didn't drive anybody in.
Frustrating inning for Hansen. He's gotten ahead of the last 2 hitters quickly with 2 strikes, but hasn't been able to finish off Cousins or Velasquez.
Threw 10 pitches in the first inning. He's already thrown 28 this inning. But again, I go to his fastball command, and you're just talking about how he's getting ahead and not putting guys away. And I think that's what's driven up his pitch count over his last several starts, is his either lack of confidence or inability to locate his fastball the way he wants to. That looked like to Velasquez a hanging breaking ball that he picked on.
Jacob Turner does not have a hit. He's 0 for 10. Check swing, and Freeman at first will take care of that. And Hansen pitches out of a bases loaded mess in the second. Chipper Jones will lead off the second. Mom and Dad are here to see it. And we'll be back with that in a moment.
Sports South is bringing you live coverage of an unforgettable ceremony. Don't miss the Braves tribute to Chipper Jones, a Braves Live special presented commercial-free by your Georgia Best Chevy dealers. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports South. And we thank the Georgia Best Chevy dealers for their participation, to be able to bring that to you uninterrupted. It'll be a great night.
Get used to that the rest of the homestand. It never gets old. First pitch from Turner is a cold strike.
Wouldn't be a bad feeling as a parent either, would it?
Oh, man. Saw Chipper's parents in the locker room before the game. And like all of us, this is really a bittersweet time in so many ways. You wish his career would continue forever. And that's what his dad, Larry Sr., said. I wish I could live it all again. As the proud father, he said, I wouldn't change a single thing, not the way any of Chipper's career or life unfolded, but boy, how cool would it be to turn back the clock to when he was a rookie in the big leagues again.
We'd all like to do that.
And if you haven't gotten a ticket for the weekend's festivities, it's going to be Chipper Palooza on our air the rest of the week.
Standing room only is all that's left for tomorrow night, right?
Correct. And now a full count from Turner. Leadoff walk. Chipper walked twice last night. He's walked tonight. And here's Freddie Freeman. This combination worked pretty well in the ninth inning. The first game of the homestand, huh? Chipper aboard for Freddie.
Yeah, primarily because Freddie's getting hot again. It bears repeating with respect to Grotto and Hayward. He's getting hot at the same time, and perfect timing heading into postseason for it.
Turner couldn't get it. Reyes does, applies the tag, and can't make the throw to first. Reyes tags out Chipper Jones. Freeman at first with one out. That was an odd play.
May have gotten stepped on too. Chipper's going to make sure that he didn't tag him and then throw to first. No, he didn't. He actually jumped up in the air to try to avoid him. I thought he stepped on him when he jumped. He's got his legs crossed a little bit there.
Chipper's taking a long look at Reyes. Here's Ugla. One ball, one strike.
One of the parts of the scouting report on Turner is his composure for such a young guy and such little big league experience. Very strong presence on the mound. made 19 starts in the minor leagues this year, went 7-4 with a 2.5 ERA.
Well, he showed a little bulldog in the first inning here tonight. Jason Hayward, when he grounded out to end the inning, yelled out in frustration. And as Jason Hayward was running down the first base line, Turner kind of looked over his shoulder and basically said, "I can get you out too," in so many words. So he was showing his competitive side in the early moments of the game this evening. Three balls and a strike. Broken back pop. Right center field. Gorkis Hernandez is under it and has it 2 down. Here's David Ross getting the start behind the plate tonight. Brian McCann battling that sore right shoulder. Had a extended swing last night and that shoulder started to bark. He's had some knee problems too. So a chance to get David in the lineup tonight. Give Brian a night off.
Yeah, those are the only places that we know he hurts.
Yeah.
He won't really tell you about the handful of others that he has to deal with on a nightly basis.
I saw him before the game. He said, "Look, I want to play." He was not asking to come out of the lineup any way, shape, or form. He knows that the Braves still have a chance to catch Washington. These are big games. He wants to be a part of it. But Freddie would like to see that shoulder calm down a little bit. Maybe Brian will be good to go tomorrow night. Nice stop, Brantley. David swings and misses, and that ends the Braves' second. No score in Atlanta. Game 3 between the Braves and Marlins.
Marlins coming to the plate. Guys, here's an amazing story of a baseball second chance. 7 years, 2 months, and 24 days ago, Adam Greenberg made his major league debut for the Chicago Cubs. It lasted all of 1 pitch after suffering a concussion, and then following that, post-concussion syndrome, including vision problems and vertigo. He never made it back to the major leagues, and all he has to show for it is 1 plate appearance. Not even an official at-bat. So he's been working as hard as he can to try and get back in the game. The Marlins have signed him to a one-day contract, and he will appear for them next week against the New York Mets in a home game against, of all people, R.A. Dickey. Ozzie Guillen told the media today that he's likely to start him in that game, start him in left field, so a half inning in the field, and then lead him off and get him in at bat. He said if he homers, he stays in. If he strikes out, he's out.
Brian Peterson shoots one to deep right. Jason Hayward will watch that sail over his head. And Peterson has his first base hit in his last 19 at bats.
He has not had a hit since a triple against the Braves in that series in Miami. And he raked that one. That got over Jason's head in a hurry.
Tom, you have more on Adam Greenberg?
Yeah, the Marlins saw him because he was playing for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic over the last few weeks. They trained at their facilities down in Jupiter, Florida. He had a great quote, guys. He said, "I never gave up. You know, sometimes life's going to throw you a curveball or a fastball to the back of your head."
I was going to say, if he hits a home run in that ballpark, they might want to consider signing him for next season.
So it's not like he's been sitting at home and they called him and said, would you like another shot? He's been working at it, and in more recent days trying to help Israel qualify for the World Baseball Classic.
Your thoughts on what the Marlins are doing for Greenberg?
I would say at this stage of their season, why not?
Mm-hmm. One ball, one strike. The announcement officially was made today on the Today Show. David Sampson appeared with Matt Lauer and Greenberg in the New York studios. Sampson was down in Florida, and the kid was obviously overcome with emotion. I mean, you can't imagine how hard it had to be for him to work his way up to the big leagues. And one pitch certainly changed his big league life, but it changed his life, period. I mean, there were times where he was really physically incapacitated by the effects of that concussion and pitch. So for him to come back and face the team that, in essence, inadvertently hit him with that pitch ball is really kind of a cool closure of sorts for Adam Greenberg. As Hansen strikes out Hernandez, one out. Third strikeout for Tommy tonight.
Big over the top curveball here that froze Hernandez for the strikeout. And one final comment from me on Greenberg, the fact that at the bottom of that graphic we showed you about his trail after getting hit by the pitch, that he's donating that day's pay to the Brain Trauma Center.
So frankly, for a Marlins club that has had its share of PR blunders this year, it seems like here in the final week of this season they really got one right. That's a nice story. Good pitch. One ball, two strikes. That's Carlos Lee, our Delta Airlines on deck batter. He and Reyes have hit Hansen well. And both these men have hit the Braves overall well this year. That's served over the screen back toward us. One ball, two strikes.
That was an emergency swing.
And he knew it.
Yeah, even Jose had to laugh at that one. He pulled this one out of his pocket like he was trying to kill a worm or something.
Tommy Hanson, backhanded play at the mound, gets Reyes by a step. And threw that ball into the runner's path. That was a dangerous play for Freeman, but Freddie makes it. Peterson at third with 2 outs.
Well, remember, Tommy had a little trouble here at Turner Field. I think his last start here with that ball that was a swinging bunt between he and Chipper, and then he threw it away down the line. And now he almost gets Freddie Freeman clocked at first base.
So Carlos Lee with an RBI chance. Runner at third, 2 outs. He walked his first time up. Lee talking to himself. Might have said he was looking for the slider and got a first pitch fastball. 0-2. Didn't mean to swing. Didn't actually. The ball ricochets off the bat on a check swing. 0-2 the count.
Ron Gant was pointing this out in Braves Live, and it's a good one again about Tommy's drop in velocity. He no longer throws 92, 93, sometimes 94. He's in the 89 to 90 range, which requires a lot of accuracy. And he made a good pitch there. He made a good pitch up and in to Lee with a fastball on the one on the check swing. So if he's going to throw 89, 88, 89, you've got to hit the spots.
That's foul past third. And Lee's still alive at 1-2. Line drive left field, and that'll score the game's first run. Carlos Lee chugging towards second. He's doubled, and Miami jumps in front 1-0.
When I think of Carlos Lee, that's the way I think of him hitting a baseball. On top of it, another breaking ball that didn't break. But just hitting scary line drives like this that leave the infield in a heartbeat. 6'2", 270.
He joined the Marlins in early July. He's just knocked in his 45th run since putting on a Miami uniform. The Braves tried to pick him off at second as Brantley's behind 0-1.
Had him too. David kind of helping Andrelton jump a little bit there. When you hit a double, Freddie, the first baseman, is supposed to follow him, not lead him.
No balls, 2 strikes. This has been the trend for Hanson most of the night tonight. Gets to 2 strikes. Really has to work to either get the 3rd strike or retire that Marlins hitter. Up 60 pitches. He threw 10 pitches in the opening inning. And after almost 30 pitches, in the second, 29 to be exact, 22 here. Brantley fouls that off his foot. That got David Ross.
On the knee. Went down to make sure he was in a good place in case he needed to block that breaking ball, but he was already on his knees when it hit him. That's about 5 breaking balls in a row.
Yeah. I wonder, with the drop in velocity, if Tommy is pitching away from his fastball for that reason.
Absolutely.
So if they can just sit breaking ball, that makes it even tougher for the Braves pitcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball to second. Ugla's got that, and the inning is over. Marlins score the game's first run. Bookend doubles by Peterson and Carlos Lee. Simmons, Hansen, and Constanza coming up in the Braves' third. Marlins have struck first. They lead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of our third inning. And it's time for the Subway Sub Prize on the line. It's the National League Wild Card and the National League Eastern races.
Cardinals got beat last night, so the Braves' advantage is now 6.5 over the second place in the wild card standings. The Dodgers and Milwaukee both won last night. Milwaukee lost today, though, so they took a step back, and they're running out of time.
And what's up with the Phillies? They lead 3-2. Mike Morse has hit a home run for Washington to bring them to within a run at Citizens Bank Park. So Jacob Turner now with a 1-0 lead faces Braves shortstop Andrelton Simmons, who's hitting .280 with 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. Back up the middle. That's the first Braves hit of the night. Let's see how Tommy Hanson fares in a sacrifice situation.
Snaps a little mini 0 for 7 for Andrelton. And gets the inning started in a good way. Especially when it gives Tommy a chance to bunt.
Strike one.
Velasquez at third, going to make it hard for Tommy to drop one down to that side of the diamond. He would like to push it down the first base line, but Carlos Lee had hustled in on the one he fouled off.
Tommy bunts. And there's one play. It's to first. Sacrifice number 8 for Hanson. He helps himself. Runner at second and one man down.
Good job.
Braves country, meet the Fox Sports South girls, Brittany and Kanika. Get to know the new faces of our network as they take you behind the scenes of their promo shoot at Turner Field. You can find this video, photos, and more on foxsportssouth.com. Jose Constanzo rounded out to short his first time up. Braves still being cautious with center fielder Michael Bourne with that sore thumb. Listed, as we all are, as day-to-day for Michael.
It is still sore. Braves hand specialist Dr. Laurie was supposed to look at him tonight. I know he had an MRI today as well. You can see it's heavily taped. Freddie Gonzalez told me before the ball game they're hopeful for tomorrow, but might be the next day. They just don't want to rush it. It's hard on Michael.
If you missed how Michael was hurt, the irony of it was on a slide, and he almost never slides in hands first.
Well, and it was on a play too where he was trying to make sure that he didn't get forced out at second base. It was on a bloop hit by Martin. He had to wait to make sure it dropped, and then it required a head first slide in order to get in there and beat the throw.
So 2 are on with 1 out for Martin Prado. He popped out to right his first time up. And the last 2 years, Martin has loved facing Marlins pitching.
And a good series this week against him has added to it.
As you said in the opening comments, this is the time of year when you want to be a hot hitter. Martin certainly is that for the Braves. 30 hits in 22 games this month for a .353 batting average in September. And if you had to pick a team MVP, this guy's play would certainly gather a lot of votes.
It'd be on my short list. So would that guy.
To the right side. Solano makes a nice play to retire Martin Prado. If he hits it a little harder, it might squeak into right field. But no such luck. Runners second and third, 2 outs.
Tried real hard with the second baseman bird dogging Andrelton Simmons. There was a big opening there, but couldn't get enough on it.
So here's our first inning rematch. Hayward versus Turner. Second and third, 2 outs now for Jason.
Good off speed pitch there. It's breaking ball. From low 90s to 77. Good separation.
Keep an eye on Brantley behind the plate. Still a work in progress defensively. 6 passed balls in 24 games. But he won't have to worry about that. Hayward strikes out. And the Braves have stranded 3 men through 3 innings tonight. 1-0 Miami as we head to the 4th. Up 1-0 is our score. Jacob Turner's first look at the Braves. He's been impressive. Just 1 hit allowed so far. As it's time for our McDonald's fan of the game.
Hey, that's the Jake Cook family. Jake used to be our radio engineer here for the Braves radio. He and his wife and baby girl, I guess that's her first trip to a Braves game.
Yes, it is. Beautiful family. Hope they're having fun tonight. So let's see what Tommy Hanson has in store for us here in the 4th. Donovan Solano, Cousins, and Velasquez coming up a second time.
Tommy could use a quick inning.
One ball, 2 strikes. Got the Marlins 1-2-3 in the first. Left the bases loaded in the second. And now gives up a ground ball to third. Chipper scoops it up. And Solano is the first out.
And with one out, time for the Georgia Power Energy tip number 6. If you're keeping score at home, save up to $100 a year when you properly use a programmable thermostat. It's number 6, folks. Set your thermostat to 78 degrees during the summer to save both money and energy.
We like to call that our Bobby Cox.
We do.
Georgia Power
We
tip.
refer to it quite often as our Bobby Cox tip.
Scott Cousins, the hitter, with the bases empty and one out. And a soft fly ball to left. Drops in front of Martin Prado. So Scott Cousins not filling out wedding invitations, but getting on base twice tonight. He's walked and singled now.
You ought to be grinning from ear to ear.
So Tommy back to the stretch. He's got Velasquez up there, and Gill singled his first time up. Mentioned the good year that Scott had down at AAA this year. He also had some success on the base paths. He was 14 for 17 in stolen base tries in New Orleans. And Hanson's throw gets away from Freddie Freeman, and Cousins on his way to second. A throwing error on Hanson.
Had a few errant pickoff attempts lately, haven't we? Medlin, Hudson, and now Hanson.
So now Velasquez hits with a runner in scoring position. And lines it over third, and that's headed for the corner. Cousins will come around and score without a play. Velasquez in at second. He's made it a 2-0 Miami game. Miami with 3 doubles tonight.
That one was riding right back into Velasquez, and he's able to turn on it. No stride at all, just used his hands. I don't know that Cousins, even with his speed, would have been able to score on this from first base, but with the error moving him to second, he scores easily.
Big swing by Jacob Turner, strike one. That fastball hit 90 miles an hour, but missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Like it was down, too.
Turner is down on strikes. 2 outs. And now Peterson. He doubled to start the third and scored on Carlos Lee's double. Marlins 2, Braves nothing. Nationals have tied the Phillies 3-3 in the fourth. Strike one to Brian Peterson. Gio Gonzalez going for his 21st win for the Nationals. Tyler Cloyd pitching for the Phillies. Oh, 2. That's a big game for Washington as well, because they know the Reds already won today. The Cincinnati team beat Milwaukee. The Reds started play tonight, a game behind Washington for the best record in the National League. One ball, 2 strikes. Milwaukee, as Joe said, running out of time. They put together a great run. They started play 3.5 games behind St. Louis. And a looping fly ball out towards second. Dan Uggla will track it down. And Peterson and the Marlins are done in the fourth inning. They add to their lead and lead 2-0. Every last minute here at Turner Field this year.
Just kind of looked up into the rafters and just kind of breathed it all in, and because I know, it's not gonna happen too many more times, and I just wanted to enjoy it. It's just an old man just kind of taking it all in and breathing it all in one last time, before I hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks, come on. See if he can hit the baseball here in the fourth. And a quick strike from Turner. High pop into shallow right. Out goes Solano. And he'll make the catch for out number 1. Freddie Freeman, the batter. Before he stands in, let's check out our AT Universe trivia question tonight. Our question is, among current National League players, Chipper is first in career RBIs and Carlos Lee is third. Who's second in career RBIs?
It's pretty impressive from Carlos Lee's standpoint.
Never would have guessed that.
He's been a solid player. Good cut there.
Well, you got to think veteran player, obviously. So you start in our division. Jimmy Rollins.
I'm all the way down to Cincinnati and Scott Rowland.
That's a good guess. Todd Hilton. All those years at Coors Field. A little low to Freddie. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby Abreu.
He's in the American League. Oh no, he's back with the Dodgers.
Right. Yeah, he's with the Dodgers now.
Called him back up. That'd be a good choice.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty for Freeman. And he pokes that ball into left field. Nice piece of hitting. And Dan Uggla stands in, representing the tying run for the Braves.
I love it when he does that. Spoils a good pitch, little flip of the bat. His hind pockets are going one way and his hands are going the other.
Dan broke his bat and popped out in the second. That gets away from Brantley. And Freeman takes second. That's a wild pitch.
But the numbers you mentioned a minute ago, how many pass balls for
6 and only 24 games coming in?
That is a lot. You've asked me a couple of times and nothing he could do about that one. But about Brantley and what I thought of him, and I do like his swing. Looks like a good offensive prospect, but I hadn't seen him catch enough, so didn't really have an opinion of that. But 6 pass balls already is a lot.
And to put that in perspective, John Buck, the veteran catcher on this club, has played 102 games and has just 7 pass balls. As Dave Baker said, he leads Wyoming in pass balls and homers. 2 balls and a strike. Hot shot past third and into left field. Freeman around third will be waved around. The throw comes toward the plate, and Uggla's in safely at second. It's a 2-1 game. Dan continues his late season offensive surge.
And he's up to 75 RBIs. He swung and missed at a breaking ball earlier in the count, but he got a breaking ball there that didn't quite move as much and hooked it just out of the reach of Velasquez, who's got some long arms. Gave Freddie a chance to lumber in. And the error paid off for the Marlins in the 4th inning. The wild pitch pays off for Atlanta.
Ross lays down a beautiful bunt, and all hands are safe. Wow!
That was a beauty.
The 2 fastest guys on the team love David Ross's bunt.
Take advantage of all your tools when you're talking about the Home Depot tools from the dugout. That's not his first bunt hit of the year. I bet he's got 4 or 5. And that was a beauty.
So now Simmons with a fly ball could tie the game. He singled to start the Braves' third. 3 straight Atlanta hits. It's a 2-1 game. Drive right center field. That's down. Ugla will score. Ross on his way to third. He'll be stopped. It's a double 2-2 game.
Before we get to the great piece of hitting by Andrelton Simmons, after David Ross dropped that bunt down, watching him go past the bag at first and slow down, he didn't look right. He looked like he was maybe favoring something a little bit, and just watching him there when that ball was obviously headed for the gap, he only had one speed and he really couldn't break it out because there's something that he was a little concerned about nagging, and you can see it on his face. And I'm not sure what it is, but don't need all the catchers to start ailing now.
Tommy Hanson had a healthy cut and fouls it back. Strike one.
Back to Andrelton. Remember, he got a base hit up the middle his first time up, and goes to right center with this one. And put a charge in it too.
So he's 2 for 2 tonight. Hanson could give himself the lead. He fouls that one away. It's 0-2.
Well, he needs to snap out of a little mini cold spell. Tommy does. Remember, he got a hit in Houston. That was in April. But he's just gone a little bit cold since. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh! Marvin Hudson rings up Tommy Hanson. 2 outs.
Come on, Marvin. Maybe just a little bit too far, but he's trying to snap out of an offer.
So 2 outs. And Jose Constanza, the batter. That caught a corner, strike one.
Until he gets 2 strikes, guys on the corners have to respect the fact that Jose might bunt. And Carlos Lee, even with the bag at first, leaves some room there for Jose to pull one by him.
And last night, with Paul Mahanum in the batter's box, the Braves had a squeeze on, and the pitch from Josh Johnson was so bad it went all the way to the backstop. Dan was credited with a steal of home. Constanza heading the count, 3 balls and a strike. Martine's on deck. Braves have struck for 2 runs in the 4th. And now the bases are loaded. Second time Constanza's walked tonight. And 3 in total for Turner, and Randy Sinclair on his way out.
That's the most walks in any game as a Marlin for Turner. going back to that busted squeeze play that they threw to the backstop, Uggla got a stolen base. Brian McCann got a stolen base on that too.
That's right.
He was going from first to second on the play, and something that I didn't pick up on until today. So he's up to 3 stolen bases and hasn't been caught.
So he's a perfect 3 for 3. That's why he loved David Ross's bunt. A fleet-footed catching core.
If you didn't see it, here's what happened with Mahalam at the plate. Uggla's breaking. And a pitch that sailed off the glove of Buck back to the backstop. So Uggla gets a stolen base. McCann was at first. He gets a swipe too.
10th at bat this year for Prado with the bases loaded. He's 4 for 9. With the bases full of Braves this year. As we've showed you, the hottest Braves hitter in September. Broken bat and foul at third, and it's 0-2. Well, he didn't break his bat.
Got him right where he wants him.
Yep. 91 two-strike hits for Martin Prado this year. Ross, Simmons, and Constanza the runners.
That presence I was mentioning about Turner earlier being put to the test here.
That's cute. Foul. How did he make contact with that pitch? Wow.
Way out in front on an off-speed pitch. And as you said, just cued it right off the end of the bat.
Fly ball left. Dropped by Peterson. 2 runs are going to score. It hit him right in the glove. And the Braves lead 4-2.
Wow. Not only did he drop it, he kicked it. One-handed effort. And the pitcher had to pay the price.
That happened to Turner in his last start. He gave up 6 runs, but only 3 were earned. And E7 plates a pair of runs for the Braves in the 4th. And Jason Hayward, the 9th man to bat in the inning. Now we'll see what kind of moxie Turner has. He got the 3rd out. His left fielder just flat out dropped it. His longest inning by far tonight. Back to the mound. He gets Jason Hayward, and that retires the side. But the Braves score 4 times and take their first lead of the night. We head to the 5th. Tommy Hanson and the Braves enjoy a 4-2 lead. Marlins, as you see our Crown Royal game summary.
One of Miami's 2 runs was unearned. The one in the 4th after the throwing error by Tommy Hanson. And 2 of the 4 just given up there by Jacob Turner, unearned.
So Tommy Hanson has a lead now. Again, he has not won since July 30th. He's got to get through this 5th inning with the lead to qualify for his 13th win of the season. Hands the 2, 3, and 4 Marlins hitters up.
Well, let's see what kind of difference it makes for him in his aggressiveness after the Braves put that 4 spot up there for him.
A dogfight here in Atlanta, a dogfight between the Nationals and the Phillies. We'll show you that score in a moment. Ground ball to short. Simmons has it. Gets Hernandez by a step. Bryce Harper's having a big game tonight. He homered in the 1st, and his RBI single has given Washington a 5th inning lead.
She has 2 of their 4 hits and 2 of their 4 RBIs.
Washington's got to be awfully nervous. They're 4 up on the Braves, but all of a sudden they're having Tyler Clippard trouble, and he's a big part of that bullpen. The Phillies nearly tied the game against him last night in the 8th. Reyes, first pitch swing. Ugla at second. Hanson could use a quick inning. He's got 2 quick outs. And here's Carlos Lee. He drove home the game's first run with a 2-out double in the 3rd. The Braves are having their best franchise year ever against the Marlins. Braves are 13-4 against them this year and have just destroyed them offensively. As Lee serves one to second, we'll break that down for you when we come back. Atlanta trying to sweep away the Fighting Fish. Tommy Hanson's qualified for the win. He leads 4-2 in the 5th. Braves are headed for October baseball. They lead the Marlins tonight 4-2, and leading them is something Atlanta's done, Joe, quite well so far this year.
You mentioned the game advantage, 13-4. Check out the run differential. The Braves are plus 50 on the Marlins this year. That's 50 of the 93 runs the Braves have on a plus side for the whole year in run differential. They've out-homered them. And, of course, their team ERA well below that of the Fish.
And that has doubled him up so far tonight. The man that started the 4th inning starts the 5th. It's Chipper Jones time. Check swing. And Velasquez at 3rd. Gets Chipper by a step. 1 out. The ballpark this weekend is going to be crazy. Standing room only tomorrow night. The Mets are here. Tickets available for Saturday and Sunday, the final 2 home regular season games for Chipper Jones. If you haven't made your plans to join us, we hope you will. Promises to be a very, very exciting weekend. The Braves still trying to chase down Washington. And taking on a Mets club that's in a very, very difficult second half for their skipper, Terry Collins.
They won at home today, beat the Pirates 6-5. Poor Pirates, boy. They've been eliminated from the wild card race too. They are now 76-80. 4 games under 500. With about 6 to go.
In July, if you'd said that the Pirates would be under 500 with a week to go, I think you would have said there's no chance. They are a team of destiny this year.
Yeah, I would have said, you mean the Orioles.
Right?
I would have said, no, you're talking about the Orioles, not the Pirates.
So their long quest to finish above 500 is going to take a very strong finishing kick, and the Braves are going to have something to do with that. Of course, the final 3 games of the year. As Freeman's down on strikes, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball gets him. 2 outs. So the Mets are here tomorrow. Here's our Jameson Inn upcoming schedule. Tim Hudson, 16 wins this year, and remember, he missed the first month.
Braves will miss R.A. Dickey, who won his 20th game today and beating the Pirates for New York, but they'll see Jonathan Neese for like the 30th time this year. Big Chris Young, and then Jeaneri Mejia will go on Sunday against Chris Medlin.
So appropriate that Chipper's final home game comes against the Mets. Team that he punished so well in his career. Don't forget, we have the on-field salute to Chipper tomorrow night. As Uggla breaks another bat. Velasquez at 3rd comes to a sliding stop and makes the play to retire the side. Nice pitch, nice play. And we head to the 6th inning. 4-2, the Braves lead Game 3 of the series.
To score. Well, a lot of postseason accolades should be coming the Braves' way, especially Chris Medlin. And while folks are talking about him for Cy Young, how about this one? How about comeback player of the year? Now, these are all guys who suffered injuries last year and missed a lot of playing time. Medlin 9-1 with a 1.64 ERA through 49 games. Buster Posey had that gruesome ankle injury. He's bounced back in a big way. And guys, as you consider these 4 players for National League Comeback Player of the Year, consider this in the comeback for both Medlin and Posey in their second halves. Medlin 8-0 with a Major League best 1.01 earned run average. Buster Posey in the second half a Major League best 380 average with 13 home runs and 57 driven in.
Amazing numbers, Tom. As Rob Brantley grounds to second. All 4 of those guys are on playoff teams too.
Well, this is just my opinion. If you're a comeback player, you had to come back from some adversity, like physical adversity. So that's Posey, and that's Medlin. Adam LaRoche, I love Adam LaRoche. He's had a great year. I'm sorry. No thanks. Steven Strasburg, sorry. No thanks. You should have played the whole year. Then we'd have thought about it. But I think Posey and Medlin, both strong candidates for it.
And not enough room on the graphic for Jason Hayward, who certainly has to be considered because of his injuries too, don't you think?
Yes. And he's been healthy all year long, and we're all happy about that. But the fact that he played through the whole year with those injuries, I can't qualify him for that. These other guys, one had a broken ankle, the other had elbow surgery.
So you're saying it's a season or career-threatening injury that a player comes back from?
Yeah. I don't like it when a guy had a bad year and then he has a good year and they say, well, comeback player of the year. No, he had just had a lousy year last year. That's all. He didn't come back from anything except lousy numbers.
Solano with a shot to right field. He continues his good hitting against the Braves and is 1 for 3 tonight. Well, frankly, I'm tired of seeing Buster Posey win awards from Braves players. Remember, he came in the second half of his rookie season and took away perhaps the Rookie of the Year from Hayward. Hopefully Chris Medlin will win that honor as the comeback player in the National League this year. Freddie Gonzalez is on his way to the mound, and he's going to take the ball from Tommy Hanson. Hanson goes 5 1/3 innings. He leaves with the lead. A chance for Tommy to win again for the first time since July 30th. But he'll need some help from the Atlanta bullpen to do that. And he'll give way to Luis Avilan, who answers the AT call to the bullpen. 1 on, 1 out in the Miami 6th.
Good numbers for Luis. No record as yet. That's okay. Given his work out of the bullpen, it's been very good. But his first work of this homestand, and actually first in 6 days, so he's had plenty of rest.
First pitch ground ball toward Dan Uggla. He'll take the shutout at first. Solano to second, 2 outs. Let's see if Avilan can get out Velasquez. Tommy Hansen couldn't. Gill's 2 for 2 tonight. A single and an RBI double last time up. Good news tonight in Atlanta. Wish we had better news in Philadelphia. Mike Morse has hit another homer for the Nationals. That extends the Washington lead now to 6-3. They continue on in the top of the 6th inning at Citizens Bank. To short. Simmons has it. And Avilan continues his terrific work out of the bullpen. Tommy Hansen has the lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam and the cold train. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Martin Prado, line drive, base hit. Oh, no, wait. Oh, great catch. Oh, wait, no. Brian Peterson, freeze it. Snow cone, good catch. Nope, didn't catch it. Oop. Goal! Goal! Nice kick, though. That was a Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Braves got 2 on that one and have a 4-2 lead.
And David Ross leads off the Braves 6th. Our first look at Jacob Turner. Personally, I'm pretty impressed.
Again, good stuff. He's got 4 pitches and looked like he was out of the inning with only 2 runs being scored in the 4th until that defensive snafu. That's what we like to call them in the outfield. We don't really like to call them errors or boots or big mistakes, just a little snafu.
Swing and a miss, 2 balls and a strike. We'll keep an eye on David Ross. He's been bothered the last month or so with that side problem, and after he bunted safely in the 4th inning, got down the first base line a little awkwardly and was grimacing as he made his way to 3rd base. Just past 9 o'clock in Atlanta, where the Braves are trying to win their 91st game. Away, full count. I understand from some fans online tonight, you see the crowd standing at the ballpark Sunday's game apparently standing room only 2. As Ross drives one deep center. Hernandez going back, still going back, turns, it's high off the fence. And David Ross has to scramble back to first with a long single. He does not have his legs under him at all.
No. He ripped it though. Put a big charge in it. He's hoping it went out because he can't run right now. I don't know if it's due to his side or if it's a leg problem. Just missed hitting it out.
When you get another run or two, you certainly could think about J.C. Boscan for the final innings tonight. I'm sure Freddie would like to stay away completely from Brian McCann, as we told you. That shoulder barking tonight. That's just one of the dings that Brian's suffering through here in the final week of the season.
This is a postseason at bat right here for Andrelton. You got a lead, but you want some add-on runs. You got a chance to maybe hit the ball through the right side, take the ball the other way. He's hit the ball up the middle twice tonight, once to right center for a double.
He had a good cut. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnny Venters is loosening in the bullpen. Appears he'll be the next Braves pitcher.
Sorry, Chip. Pinsky out on deck. Looks like he had hit for Avalon. He got 2 ground balls to get out of the 6th.
And Simmons strikes out. Couldn't advance David Ross. Pinsky will be announced. Fans, Chipper's final October trip is almost here, and it's time to make your plans to cheer him on. Postseason tickets are now on sale. Get them for any of the playoff games here at Turner Field. It could be the wild card. It could be a division series. We still have 6 games left to determine the Braves' postseason fate. Visit Braves.com/postseason today to order your tickets now.
Going to battle for Eric this year. Things haven't come as easy as they normally do, especially when he's pinch hitting, and lately Lyle Overbay's been getting a lot of the at bats.
He hits that ball right at Reyes. It will start a double play. And the Braves are out of luck in the 6th inning. Pitcher spot due first as the Marlins come up in the 7th. Johnny Venters will try to protect a 4-2 lead. Brought to you in part by Ford, by the Home Depot, by Checkers, and by AT&T. Seventh inning time in Atlanta. 4-2 is your score. Joe and Chip with you, along with Tom Hart tonight from Turner Field. Atlanta trying to sweep the Marlins. And friends, how do baseball's past and present say thank you to Chipper Jones? Well, check out those video shout-outs on the Braves page on foxsportssouth.com. Changes aplenty for the Braves here in the seventh inning. First, a new pitcher. Johnny Venters will answer the AT call to the bullpen.
I was just looking at Johnny Venters' work this month, and the last time he worked in back-to-back games was September 9th and 10th, and on the 10th he suffered a blown save at Milwaukee. Since then he's worked on the 12th, 15th, 18th, 22nd, and now the 27th. So a little gap in there and some space between outings, I think has really helped him.
And the other change in the game is the man he's facing. Austin Kearns pinch hits for Jacob Turner, who went 6 innings of 6-hit, 4-run baseball tonight. We were asking earlier tonight about the status of Michael Bourne. We saw him sitting on the Braves dugout bench with that thumb taped up or wrapped. Sounds like the examination by the Braves team doctors went about as well as could be expected.
Yeah, as certainly is. Be a whole lot worse.
Kearns with a pinch hit single will bring the potential tying run to the plate.
MRI revealed no ligament damage, but there is a slight sprain of the thumb. So of all the responses to the MRI, or the results from an MRI, I guess right now that's the best possible result.
And you were saying last night that for a hitter, there almost really isn't a slight sprain if it's the thumb.
It's not. I mean, it's so aggravating, especially on your top hand, because of the abuse that part of your thumb takes from the bat when you make contact. Sometimes even on a real solid swing, but especially off the brand or getting jammed or off the end of the bat.
First pitch swing by Brian Peterson. He'll pop out to short. 1 on, 1 out for Borges Hernandez. So again, the status health-wise for Bourne day to day. The fact that the Braves continue to win games, I'm sure, makes it easier for Freddie Gonzalez to buy him some more time to get that thumb as healthy as it's going to be this time of year.
I don't think they're in any rush to make that happen. Jose's playing well out there. Got Reed Johnson, who can play in center as well.
We might see Reed out there tomorrow night with Jonathan Neese pitching for New York. Here's Hernandez. And 1 ball, no strikes. There's a Johnny Venters breaking ball.
And we saw that a little bit in his last couple of outings, Chip, about that slider, that swing and miss slider versus the slider that he was bouncing for a lot of the season so far out in front of home plate that no hitter was offering at it. He's recalibrated it.
Pop fly foul into the stands. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to center. Constanza going back, has plenty of room. Hernandez is the second out. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day.
Why does Jose Reyes get to bat every inning?
Seems like that, doesn't it?
Boy.
Because of all the trades, because of ineffectiveness, they moved him out of the leadoff spot so that he could maybe drive in some runs. He's done a good job of that with 56 of them for the year. And while a .287 average may not be eye-popping for Jose Reyes, he's been a pretty good success story for the Marlins this year in his first season.
I think that's right around his career average. I know he won a batting title with a whole lot more than that, but I think his career average is right around the high 280s, maybe 290. But this isn't his game, Chip. I mean,
right.
Batting third is, if you asked him, he might be saying, okay, I can handle it right now, but he's a disruptor, an igniter. He's a guy that likes to lead off and get on base and wreak havoc for the pitcher and the defense.
But you know what? You have to respect the fact that, to my knowledge, there hasn't been a peep from Jose Reyes about not liking hitting third. And so one of the game's best leadoff men isn't leading off, but taking one, if you will, for the Marlins team this year.
291 career mark.
But I would think if they can fill out their roster, his new park in Miami is tailor-made for his skill set. He's not going to hit a ton of home runs. You think about him hitting some gaps.
Oh. Follow through. Got got David Ross on the back of the hand. That's all he needed tonight. No, you're right. He could be a triples machine in that ballpark.
Bouncing ball out towards second. Dan Ugla. Close play. And gets Jose Reyes and Miami in the seventh. Stretch time. Top of the Braves order coming up. Atlanta in command. 4-2 your score. Game into Tommy Hansen's favor.
Got a little help too in the inning. But Dan Ugla drove in the first run with this double that he hooked down the third base line. Freddie Freeman with some nifty footwork there to get in. Then Andrelton Simmons with a big hit, a double into the right center field gap. That drove in Ugla, put runners at second and third. Then after a walk to Constanza, Martin Prado with that line drive that should have ended the inning. Instead, the snafu by the left fielder allowed 2 runs to score. And that's the difference in the ball game right now. Brian Peterson's error.
You say that so well, by the way.
Snafu?
Snafu.
Well, I'm used to saying it because of where I used to play.
Wade LeBlanc is on for the 24th time for Miami. And he will face Reed Johnson, who's grabbed a bat and will pinch hit. Johnson, as you know, has the most pinch hits in the major leagues. 17 of them. He tears up lefties. Let's see if he can do it here and extend the Braves' lead. It stands at 4-2 late.
Wade LeBlanc made a start against the Braves last week down in Miami. He's made 8 starts in all out of his 24 appearances.
And now Brantley wants to get on the same page. Well, we've chronicled how disastrous the season has been for the Marlins. There's no getting around that. But I really think it's going to be maybe the most fascinating story in baseball as the playoffs wrap up. What happens in Miami? New ballpark. Will Isaac Ian stay? Will they add to payroll? Will they cut payroll? What's going to happen with Heath Bell? Will they keep Josh Johnson? Will they move him? Try to capitalize on his talents and rebuild the ball club? What kind of a club will they try to employ in Miami? One that has a whole bunch of sluggers, or Giancarlo Stanton in the middle of a whole bunch of contact hitters who can run?
Well, that's kind of what amused me about a response that their owner had for some comments Freddie Gonzalez had before the series about how their owner is never going to be satisfied with any manager, doesn't matter who it is. Connie Mack, maybe.
Right.
And their owner said that he thought it was sad that Freddie would make those kind of statements because Freddie Gonzalez was a colossal failure in Florida. Well, you know what? Freddie, the first year they were 20 games under 500. Then they had winning seasons 2 years in a row, and he was 2 games under 500 when they fired him. Braves were happy about that. Thank you very much. You want to talk about a colossal failure? Look at the Marlins 2012 season.
At 66 and 89, and on their way perhaps to their 7th consecutive loss. But look, Jeffrey Loria is the owner. He can run his team the way he wants to run his team, and it's perfectly within his right.
Absolutely.
But he's had 6 managers. He hasn't found a personality that organization has been able to mesh with on a consistent basis. And whether it was during my time with the Cubs, compare the Marlins, the Cubs, and the Braves. When you have stability in that chair, what a difference that makes. All the years that Bobby Cox was at the helm here in Atlanta, there was an organizational philosophy in place, and as Clint Hurdle would say, the courage to be patient to see that philosophy through certainly paid dividends for Atlanta. That hasn't happened down in Miami.
They made colossal commitments, if you will, to some free agents last year, banking on people coming to the ball games with their new stadium. That didn't materialize. A disappointing year of attendance there.
Base hit by Prado the other way. That was between Lee and the first base bag. Martin's going to try for 2, and the throw's off target. That's textbook Martin Prado.
Like a cutter from LeBlanc that just came back to the middle of the plate. And Martin tracked it from the outside coming in, and nice swing going the other way. Such a good player. How many hits is that for him now? And he's hitting 5 straight. 40th double of the year.
184 hits.
Oh man.
59 multi-hit games.
40 doubles, 10 homers.
Prado with 184 hits, 6 behind Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates for the league lead. Coming into play tonight. Jason Skies 1 foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. And to finish up the Marlins, though, there were many who predicted that club to be a division title contending club at the start of spring training. They thought that highly of the Miami club.
Yeah, they had the personnel.
So that will be, I think, very, very interesting to follow. As you know, the relationship with that ball club and that community is, I don't want to say frayed, but there's some tension there because year after year they develop players and then have fire sales. Will they cut payroll a year after getting a new stadium? We'll see. 2-1. And now 3 balls and a strike. Two on, 4, Chipper with 1 out.
On our Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard, number 10. In Atlanta history, most RBIs against a single opponent. Del Murphy with 168 against the Padres. Chipper Jones, 2 behind him in his RBIs against the Miami Marlins.
Another visit by Randy St. Clair. Big night for Chipper, perhaps Tom Hart. Already another gift this evening.
Yeah, Chip, it's funny, you know, a lot of the organizations are giving him gifts, but he was surprised when he took the field for batting practice a couple of days ago, and he was met by Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, who presented him with a pair of lizard skin cowboy boots. Not Leonard Skinner tickets. That concert has already happened. Chipper said, I'd never met the governor before, but he seemed like a big fan. And when Chip showed his dad the boots today, he was certainly awed. I talked to the governor. He said, I've learned in my life that every man needs a good pair of cowboy boots.
Right on, Governor. And Larry's dad's got his on today.
So Chipper a chance perhaps to take over that RBI lead with 1 swing of the bat here.
He sure could. And those boots would be made for trotting.
I like it. Fly ball to center. And that's playable for Hernandez. And Chipper's out, number 2. Might be his final at bat against the Marlins.
That cutter got in on him. Similar pitch to the one that Martin took the other way, but that one traveled too far and Chipper couldn't get the barrel there.
Freddie Freeman with 2 on and 2 out.
A win tonight for Atlanta would seal home field advantage in a potential wild card game with whoever the opponent might be. Technically, they clinched it last night because they clinched a tie, but the tie with the Cardinals right now belongs to the Braves because they won 5 out of the 6 games this season. Just a matter of whether or not the Cardinals will cooperate with Los Angeles or Milwaukee. St. Louis has 3 games coming up this weekend with the Nats.
3 balls and a strike. Freeman walks. And the bases are loaded for Dan Uggla. And Ozzie Guillen is going to have to go get Wade LeBlanc. He pitches 2/3 of an inning, gives up a hit and a couple of walks. And by Crown Royal. Beautiful night in Atlanta. The Braves trying to sweep the Marlins, lead them 4-2 in the 7th. The Braves have the bases loaded. After Wade LeBlanc was ineffective, Ozzie Guillen will call upon right-handed pitcher Ryan Webb.
Big Ryan Webb came over to this club last year from San Diego and was in 53 games last year, went 2-4. This year, an increased workload. This is number 62 for him. 4-3 with a 424, as you see. Big guy, 6'5", 230. Out of Clearwater, Florida.
Bad first half, great second half for Webb. 8-point ERA, 8.82 in fact in the first half over his final 16 appearances. Since the All-Star game in 25 games with the big league club, a 2.01 earned run average. So Dan Uggla bats with 2 outs, bases full of Braves. 1 ball, no strikes. Prado, Hayward, and Freeman, the Braves runners. Dan tonight 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. That came in the 4th. Nice stop by Brantley. That saved a run. And he'll visit with Webb. 2 balls, no strikes.
I don't know if he got crossed up here. But a good stop there. The way he was shifting was like he kind of expected a breaking ball and got a fastball.
Marlins relief corps having trouble throwing strikes. 12 of the last 16 pitches been out of the strike zone in this 7th inning. That one did find the strike zone, and Uggla just missed a double.
I like the way he's swinging the bat, don't you?
I do.
That just missed getting over the bag, but remember the double he hit was a line drive hooking over the third baseman's head. Not near as many strikeouts, not near as many straight up the chute pop-ups.
Breaking ball evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Getting on top of pitches. And has cut down, if you will, on his uppercut.
Little flare, shallow right field. That's going to drop. Run scores. Hayward scores standing up. Our 3 RBI night for Dan Uggla. And that breaks this game open. Boy, 2 out hits are so huge come postseason time.
Couldn't agree more, Chip. 77 RBIs now in the year for Dan. Good pitch, too. Pitcher's pitch. Might not have even been a strike, but down and away, and he hits it off the end of the bat. But didn't try to pull it. He picks up a couple of RBIs on that Ric Flair to right. Woo. He continues to torment his old club.
So it's a 6-2 game now in the 7th for David Ross.
Last 2 years for Dan Uggla against his old club. 32 RBIs, 10 more than the next closest opponent.
And 18 of his 77 RBIs this year against the Marlins. He continues doing this. Boy, what a big threat that's going to be in the Braves postseason. Dan's never played in the playoffs. Well, he's eagerly awaiting that chance. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yes, it is.
Freeman and Uggla now the base runners. As Randy St. Clair, the Marlins pitching coach, looks on. Another long inning for the Atlanta offense. Now 3-1.
We're talking about the Braves clinching the home field advantage for the wild card. I mean, I believe the wild card came into existence in '95 when the Braves won the World Championship because they played the Rockies in Colorado the first 2 games of that playoff. The Rockies were the wild card team. Think about 1993 when the Braves won 104 games and the Giants 103. The Giants didn't go anywhere.
Right. You get mixed reviews on how broadcasters, players, managers, coaches like or dislike that 1-game play-in game, as it were. But from a TV standpoint and a fan interest standpoint, it's going to be huge. 1-game shootout to live or die in the postseason. It's an automatic game 7, if you will. As Ross takes the call at 3rd strike. 2 big innings for the Braves batsmen tonight. A 4-run 4th, a 2-run 7th. It's now a 6-2 Braves game. A big night for Dan Uggla. 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Marlins, back to our AT Universe trivia question with Carlos Lee leading things off. Carlos Lee is third among current National League players. Chipper Jones is first among active players in career RBIs. Who is the man sandwiched in between Chipper Jones and Carlos Lee on that list?
I'm going to stick with Scott Rowland.
That came out quick. I'm going to say Todd Hilton, as that one gets underneath Freddie Freeman. E3.
Makes all the great plays, and that one will eat at him the rest of the night. Came up on it.
11 errors now for Freeman. Let's see if we erred on the answer for the trivia question. Wait a minute. What's with the bilabial fricative response to the Jason Giambi?
I'm not sure what that means.
It was that sound.
I just don't ever think about guys on the bench, I guess. Although I might have come up with Jim Thome if we were still with the Phillies. And I fired that one out there.
Giambi's had a good career. I don't know if he'll be back with Colorado next year. Don't know if Todd Hilton's going to be back, frankly.
Oh, he said he was.
Was he?
Yeah, I heard today.
Did he?
Yeah, he's had hip surgery, but he said he has no plans of retiring.
Little tapper. It's fouled by Rob Brantley. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, good for Todd Hilton. Like Chipper Jones, player of his caliber, you'd like to see him go out on his terms, not because of injury.
I also heard today a cool fact about Braves gear and paraphernalia, that sales this month are up 63% with this one source of paraphernalia. I forget the name of the company.
Swing and a miss by Brantley. Venters has his first strikeout. How about this? You're right. I read something too, that all across Major League Baseball, the #1 selling player's jersey in the game of baseball in September is Chipper Jones.
Is it?
Yep. Not surprising with his final season.
Johnny Venters out there for a second inning is somewhat surprising, but he must want some work.
Well, I would love to see, again, standing room crowd here tomorrow night. How cool would it be to have 45,000 fans wearing number 10 jerseys? Chipper Jones night. And you hear about the red outs or the blackouts at the college football games.
Yeah, great idea. If you've got one, if you're coming to the game tomorrow night, you've got one, wear it.
And if you don't have one, they'll have them here at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Strike to Solano. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And again, it's such a bittersweet weekend, I think. What is the final Sunday going to be like? As exciting as tomorrow's going to be. Line to right, the ground catch Hayward. And that's the second out. I can't imagine how tough it is to hit in the major leagues, but how tough is it going to be to hit with tears in your eyes? Because I'm sure Chipper's going to be fighting them back in his last at bat, whenever that comes in the game.
There won't be any tears if he's got the game on the line in some fashion.
No, that's true too. You're right about that.
Might be in some eyes over there in that row.
Swing and a miss by Scott Cousins with 2 outs. He scored one of the 2 Marlins runs. And that's high to even the count. Washington winning big late, 7-3 in Philadelphia. That game's in the 7th inning. Here it's 6-2 Braves. Atlanta 4 behind Washington. They'll have 6 games left after tonight. Did he go? He did. Cousins is called out at the plate. And Johnny Venters 2 scoreless innings of relief tonight. Bottom of the 8th. The Braves up 6-2.
I think we had a chance to sit down with Chipper and go do some tape, talk to him about some various things in preparation for this weekend. And one of the things I asked him was about superstitions and if he had any.
Superstitions? No, not really. I mean, I guess maybe the only one superstition pregame in between batting practice and the game, I have a bag of Doritos and 4 chocolate chip cookies and a Powerade and that's my pregame meal.
Well, it worked.
Yeah. And we'll have a whole lot more from Chipper Jones. Joe did a great job the other day talking to Chipper about all kinds of cool subjects. As he started his major league career, made his way up through the minor leagues, who was influential for him, et cetera, et cetera. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun to hear. Terrific answers to some very different and great questions. So we'll look forward to that.
It was fun.
New pitcher for the Marlins, it's Steve Cishek. With Heath Bell's troubles, Cishek stepped in nicely and has been a pretty reliable closer for Miami. Simmons rolls one out to second. And he's retired for out number 1. Looks like Lyle Overbay's grabbed the bat. He'll pinch it for Venters. Don't forget, tomorrow before the game, Fox Sports South will bring you live coverage of an unforgettable ceremony. Don't miss the Braves tribute to Chipper Jones. Our Braves Live special presented commercial-free by your Georgia Best Chevy dealers tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports South.
That's going to be exciting because I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what the team has planned. It's been kind of kept under wraps. Well, that will be exciting.
Back to the screen by Overbay. One ball, one strike.
The team's probably a little bummed. They had big plans to give him a surfboard.
Yeah, right. Cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
Dad's got the Stetson taken care of tonight.
It's a good one, too.
But you know, at some point next year, Chipper's ultimate reward will be down the left field line up above the terrace level. John Smoltz, Bobby Cox, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Dale Murphy, Hank Aaron, and others. I never got tired and get tired of looking at the tape of Tommy Glavine when we had his number retirement ceremony at the ballpark. Just the look on his face when the reality of that moment kicked in for him. I'm sure we'll see a similar reaction from Chipper Jones when his day comes. Overbay is down on strikes. 2 outs.
2 down. Time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. And tonight the category is teams that have the most players with 10 or more homers. The Reds, the Brewers, the Phillies all with 7 guys that have 10 or more, and the Braves Marlins tied with 6 each. Marlins hoping Carlos Lee hits at least 1 more to move them into the category with the other teams. That would give them 7.
Yeah, but he's running out of time to extend his streak to 14 years with 10 or more homers, and this is his last road game. He's got to go back to that giant ballpark.
Yeah, the last 6 are at home.
Second at bat for Reed Johnson. He came on in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter, and now finds himself down 0-2. Tune-up chance for Martinez in the 9th, it would appear. Braves up 6-2. Nasty pitch takes care of Reed Johnson, and Steve Cishek strikes out a pair of men in his 8th inning. 3 outs to get for a sweep of the Marlins. 6-2, Atlanta leads here at home. In part by Nissan, by Jamison Inn, by the Georgia Lottery and by McDonald's.
And welcome back to Turner Field. Braves with a 6-2 lead as we go to the 9th inning. Atlanta looking for the postseason, perhaps a division title, but if not, a wild card berth, and the opponent looks to be St. Louis. If the season ended now, Cardinals have a 3.5 game lead on the Dodgers for the second wild card spot. Guys, all that controversy about the Braves celebrating with champagne the other night, well, it's spread to the Midwest, and specifically former Brave Adam Wainwright. When asked if they would celebrate, well, no disrespect to what they did, speaking of the Braves, but I think we're going to save the big pop for after we beat Atlanta. So the discussion continues in St. Louis if the Cardinals will celebrate if they clinch. They said they'll have a minor celebration to appease Major League Baseball, but they're going to save the big pop for later. They did have 4 champagne celebrations in 30 days last year. But that quote will certainly make the bulletin board here in Atlanta.
Certainly will. And Adam Wainwright, a former Braves farmhand and #1 draft pick. So that'll get the Braves' attention.
Don't know the answer to this question. Maybe Dave or Gretchen could look it up, but who's in line to pitch for the Cardinals as Velasquez drives one to right? We know Chris Medlin is going to pitch for the Braves. Who would get the ball for St. Louis?
I don't know that they're in a position where they can line it up just yet. They haven't clinched anything yet. They're getting close.
But how sweet would it be if it was Wainwright and the Braves beat him after that comment in the St. Louis papers today?
Christian Martinez, first time he's pitched in 2 weeks. His last outing was in Milwaukee on the 12th of September. He and Chad Durbin, though, got a lot of love on MLB Network the other night, and rightfully so, from Al Leiter, talking about how both Christian and Chad Durbin have taken innings out of the hands of the guys at the end of the ball game and saved them a lot of work this year, and has helped the Braves bullpen be as good as it is thanks to their efforts. I thought he was right on.
And boy, has the Atlanta pen been spectacular all year, but certainly from August 1st on. Braves pen since August 1st, 9-4, 11 saves, 133 strikeouts and 141 innings, and only 6 home runs allowed in 2 months. Amazing. So the pitching's come together at a perfect time. You've got a very well rested, very dangerous Braves bullpen. The offense starting to show signs of a little more depth, a little more consistency. The starting pitching's been excellent in the second half. So perhaps the Braves are going to finish with a big pop. In regular season play, they've already won 16 of their last 22 games coming into play tonight. Back to the mound off the bat of Greg Dobbs. 2 outs.
In defense a little bit here of Adam Wainwright, one of the things you got to weigh here is that the Cardinals are saying, well, we're going to save it for the big pop when we beat Atlanta. Okay, well, they did a lot of celebrating last year,
right,
as you guys were talking about. So they had a lot of people still in the ball club that have been through this and had great success last year, and the Braves hadn't.
Right.
And they including the manager, Freddie Gonzalez. So it was an opportunity for them to celebrate getting into the postseason, and I still don't fault them at all. I thought it was a great idea. I would have done it too. But that's another reason why they did it versus why St. Louis says they won't.
A strike to Brian Peterson, the last hope for Miami. $27,270. The paid crowd, it's on its feet. Pop fly foul. One more strike to get. Coming up after our game, Braves Live presented by AT We'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez Tom Hart will have an on-field interview, and we'll have tonight's highlights. Little tapper. Martinez with a bare hand, and the Braves sweep Miami. Chipper Jones' final game against the Marlins is in the win column, 6-2. Our final score tonight at Turner Field. Big night for Dan Uggla, too. He earns our Toyota Plays of the Game honors.
3 RBIs for him tonight. 1 on this double back in the 4th inning. And then capped off the scoring with this bases loaded single in the 7th. That plated 2. Big night for him. He's up to 77 RBIs on the year.
And speaking of big nights, Tommy Hanson in the win column for the Braves for the first time since July 30th. Ironically enough, that was also against the Marlins. He wins his 13th of the season. 6-2 is our final. More from Turner Field after this.